One of the tough things about running a service business is that every day feels like this challenge to get through all of these tasks that just pummel you in the face. And a lot of them are actually kind of important. But unfortunately, if you actually want to get somewhere in your business, you have to be able to think long term, which is tough to do while you're getting pummeled in the face with all of those daily tasks. If this is your first time here, my name is Ken. This is my brother James. We're the Security Bros. And when we're not making these fun videos for you guys, we're running a business for, over 10 years now in the security systems industry. We're kind of getting the hang of it, and what we're hoping to do is to share some of our experiences with you guys. One of those things is figuring out how to think long term.
Like you said, important tasks that they're coming at you. Like a fruit ninja, you're slicing them away. You're dealing with all the tasks. And while that is important and it's something you gotta do, there is incredible benefit to picturing long-term objectives and goals and all these things. And a big one is, will the actions you take today make your business stronger in a year, 3 years, right?
Mm-hmm. I've found that sometimes you don't have to do all of those tasks. There are certain things that we assume are important, but the question is, are they important? You'll notice I will have these pile of mail. It will start to pile up.
It does.
It starts to pile up. And if you go through it, most people would say, well, what is that mail about? Oh, that mail is about this thing. Well, that's important. Well, what's this thing? That's also important. And people will tell you everything is important. You should definitely do this. You should definitely do that. If you actually spend all your time doing all those things, you would never be able to work on something that has a long-term implication. There's a lot of things that you can just let go to the side. And it seems irresponsible. Mm-hmm. But the fact is that you will never, ever, if you're running a business, you will never ever get through all the potential tasks that you can have in a day. There's always going to be more than you can actually get to. And at one point I was like straight up just burnout. I burnt myself out as the business was growing. I had just more and more stuff, more questions, people emailing me, just the number of tasks that were piling up, and I was trying to get to everything, and I realized I had to work more hours, and then more hours, more coffee, more energy drinks, working all 7 days of the week, almost all the hours, and there was just no more time. And then I would look around at other people that had more successful businesses that were growing, and I thought, well, it's clearly not about working more time and doing more tasks, because I'm already doing all the tasks and I'm already working all the hours, and now I'm out. So there's no more room to grow. The way I think of it is like you're on those monkey bars. You're not gonna get to that next bar until you let go of the one that you're on. Imagine you're hanging off a cliff. You're like going between two mountain ledges and you have the monkey bars. To let go of the one bar would seem irresponsible, because that's the thing that's keeping you from falling. A lot of those things that we think are important right now, if you actually ignore them and you go into the future a bit, you find out they actually weren't that important.
Would you say that the relationships you've made with business partners, industry contacts, like vendors, more personal relationships I'm kind of leaning towards here, even friendships, just regular friends, how would you say that those have played a big role in the success and growth of the company? Well,
it's not a question of do friends help, it's a question of which friends help. Some friends have been actually a negative impact. Yeah, I mean, at one point I realized I need to offload friends. And in fact, I think generally throughout life, if you wanna develop and move up, you're gonna be the one making the changes. And a lot of times the people around you aren't making those changes, which means that at your next level that you're going to, those people aren't gonna be a good fit.
A lot of times.
And that's tough. But you gotta remember that most people in life, they are not looking to help boost you. Most people, they're looking to keep you exactly where you are. If you have a group of friends, more than likely those friends will help to keep you from falling too low, but then they'll also keep you from climbing, because their whole goal is to keep you right there about average with them.
Right.
One thing about becoming more successful than we are, is we have to be able to face truths that for some reason people consider to be wrong. It's not a good truth. It's not a good thing to admit. Business partners that I had years ago, they were good for then, maybe, but they're definitely not good for where I am now, and they're not good for where I'm trying to go. You're never going to get where you want to go without cultivating relationships.
Yeah.
Being able to make friends, that's a really important skill. But a lot of people hold themselves back because they think
you for sure
that they have
yeah.
to maintain this like quote unquote loyalty, as if that's loyalty. It's more like laziness being disguised as loyalty.
Yeah, I mean, if your group of friends is trying to drag you out partying every night of the week and, you know, staying out till 4 a.m, but you're trying to start a business and run a business, those two worlds are going to conflict in ways. So you'll have to make a decision which one you want to give up. Another long-term strategy is focus on building a reputation that will complement your brand in the future. Another long-term strategy in the investing world is to play it safe with your portfolio. You can tell your investment group that, hey, take this money and invest it in like a very safe portfolio, and they're going to pick all of the safe investments, but that will give you almost a guaranteed positive return. But you're not going to make as much money as if you take the high risk portfolio. In your opinion, is it better to use the low risk route for business, or maybe go a little higher risk?
Well, business by default is already high risk because most of them fail. The vast majority fail in the first 5 years. To start a business, you have to be fairly comfortable with risk.
I guess the question I was trying to ask was, do you think playing it safe is the quickest way to growth and like financial success in a business? Like going the safe route, or, by maybe just like going word of mouth, starting slow, or take on a bunch of risk and investment? I guess this is more.
It depends
what I'm trying to
how
ask.
long you want to keep the business for.
Okay.
If you're going to plan to be around for 20, 30 years in the business, then going slow is a great way to go, because if you do it right, you can absolutely become huge in 20 to 30 years. It starts out slow, but it can compound really huge years in the future. Whereas if you're trying to do something in 5 or only 10 years, then you absolutely have to take the risky approach, because you're not going to become a huge company in 5 or 10 years by word of mouth. That's your 20, 30 year approach, or longer. Just depends how long you plan to have the business before you sell it, or even if you plan to sell it.
What makes thinking long term when running a business so challenging? And to me, I see it as there's so much to do in day-to-day operations and decision making and just everything that goes into running the business. There's so much to do that it's very hard to take the time to sit back and kind of make a plan for way in the future sometimes, when you're just trying to get through the day almost. And I think you kind of touched on this in the beginning of the video, is you have to consciously make a choice to cut out certain things, or as you said, let go of the monkey bar and choose to focus on the next thing.
You have to say, like, what is it? Like, what is it? Why does it even matter? It's only because there's somewhere you want to go.
Right.
It's something you want to build, and it's going to take time to build it. That's the only reason thinking long-term matters. And you have to think, well, this is what I want. Well, how do I get there? Well, to get there, I'd have to achieve this. Well, to get there, to get to there, I have to achieve this. And if you go backwards enough, you might say, oh, that's more like a 5-year plan. But the truth is, everything takes a lot longer than you would think. So that 5-year plan, probably more like a 10 or 15-year plan, because everything really does take longer than you think and costs a lot more than you would think, and it's all going to be a lot harder than you think.
The scatterbrained business. I've met business people that they've like got all this stuff going on. You touched on this earlier, where they feel like they're crushing tasks instead of, like you said, figuring out what the goal is. And there's been stuff that we've had to like say no to, like stuff to turn down. I've met the business person that wants to just take it all, and then you just end up in this whirlwind of just stuff happening, money coming in, lots of it going out, and you're just stressed and trying to do all these different things. Sometimes you have to actually just say no to certain things to achieve the long-term vision.
For example, in our business, I have a goal for revenue where I would like our subscription revenue to be, our recurring monthly revenue, where I would like that to get to. It's a very specific number. It's easy to just say, great, Cool, let's just aim for that. What does it mean to aim for that? If you want to get there in 5 years, here's how much new business we'd have to bring on with that revenue every month. If we want to get there in 2 years, here's how much. And when you actually break it down, it gets down to like, wow, that would be a challenge to bring on, where you have to bring on 10 new, say, clients in a month. And it's like, well, how many clients do we currently bring over? Not 10. And so then you're like, okay, well, how do I make that happen? That would be a lot of work. But it now enables you to think more strategically. Yep. One thing it definitely has made me realize is that some of the work we do that doesn't bring that revenue on it makes us money, but it's a waste because it's actually not making this goal happen. It's making maybe somebody else's goal for something happen, but it's not making my goal happen. Right. The time that we spend making that project happen that doesn't create this recurring revenue, to me, is a waste, because we could have been doing that same work on a project that generates recurring revenue. So that's why, for me, one of my goals is to get to a place where we are no longer working with these partners that generate no recurring revenue for us. I want every project to be one that brings in a new subscription.
Yep.
So that's the goal to get to, and it's not something that I created out of thin air. It's something that comes from looking at a long-term goal, and I broke it down into realizing if we want to get anywhere in 5 years, we need to be doing certain things today. You can't act all sporadic today and hope to end up really far in 5 years. If you do that, you'll end up exactly where you currently are.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And if you like to get somewhere at some point, why don't you go ahead and like this video so we know, and share it so your friends know.
Bye. What?
What?
You want to get somewhere at some point?
Yeah, you want to get there someday.